to Your Health, where we explore the latest in health across the country. I'm Erica Cardenas. We have a great show for you today, so let's take a look at what we have in store. We'll talk to an expert in public health about getting back to society and the risks involved. We visit with a company who helps women with hair loss issues and look at what hospitals are doing to welcome back patients. All that and more on this episode of Your Health. As states start to lift restrictions, we wanted to talk about the safest way to go about re-entering society. So joining us now is Will Humble, Executive Director for the Arizona Public Health Association. Thanks so much for being with us, Will.
Okay, thanks for the invitation.
You've been in public health for 30 years. How do you think the country is doing right now when it comes to the virus?
Well, I think it depends state by state. And, there's the epidemic is looking different in every state. How it's reacting in nursing homes and skilled nursing facilities, et cetera, is looking different. And the policies have been different. And some of those policies are in line with what's happening to prevent the spread. But there are other states that are not taking advantage of some policies that they could be to help slow the spread. So it's really a checkerboard effect.
As we start to go back to regular life, what steps do we need to be taking to stay safe and to keep the community safe from the virus?
So the first thing to think about is what kind of risk category you're in and what kind of risk category your family members and friends are in. Because the decisions that you make and going out into the community should all be driven through the lens of what's my risk, what's my family's risk, what's the risk to the folks around me that I care about. Because you may be in your 20s or 30s and in great health and have no risk factors. But if you've got a grandparent in town that you like to see, you should think of yourself as high risk. And so that's why it makes sense to really follow through with those simple recommendations, which is make sure you wash your hands, be diligent about that. If you're going out into the community, please wear a cloth mask. It protects both you and other people. There's emerging evidence that it protects both yourself and others.
Will, are there places that are higher risk that you feel that we should just avoid altogether?
Well, nightclubs, that's a perfect example. It's really crowded, it's indoors, and it's a perfect environment to spread the virus. And so a nightclub type of environment is a place to avoid. I think it's safe to go to restaurants depending on where you go. And so the thing is to take a look at the mitigation measures that you see in place at the restaurant. Do they have physical distancing when you walk through the door? Do you see that the tables are spread out? Is the staff wearing a mask? Those are visible signs that the facility and the restaurant is trying to do the right thing. Same thing goes for retail stores, grocery stores, etc. If you see those things, then that's a safe environment. And so it's really about situational awareness.
Now, recent studies show people are foregoing their annual health visits. What are your thoughts on that? And, which visits can we hold off on?
So this is something that I've been concerned about from the very beginning, because, every day on the news we hear about the number of new cases in our states and the number of deaths. But the things that we're not hearing about are the public health ramification or impacts from the fact that people are delaying needed procedures. And some of those things are primary care visits, like parents not going to the pediatrician to get their regular routine vaccinations for their kids, avoiding those developmental screens that happen in pediatric practices. You could be missing things that are really important. And so the number one message, I think, is, especially if you have kids, make sure that you talk to your pediatrician and come in as expected, because those are really important screens. Likewise, people my age, and really people of all ages, have emerging conditions that they need to monitor routinely. And so the number one piece of advice is talk to your primary care doctor, stay in touch with them. Please don't avoid those checkups and those simple procedures, because they can many times snowball into something much bigger if you don't take care of it.
Yeah, absolutely. We thank you so much, Will, for joining us. We appreciate you. If you'd like more information on the Arizona Public Health Association, just head over to their website. Cosmetic surgery is one sector of the healthcare industry getting back to business. The experts at Platinum Plastic Surgery tell us how they can help create the look you're wanting.
My name is Dr. Christopher Costa. I'm a cosmetic plastic surgeon here in Las Vegas, Nevada. I have extensive medical and surgical training for the past 10 years. I've worked with some of the world's experts in rhinoplasty, in breast augmentation, in tummy tuck, and even breast reconstruction. My vision with platinum plastic surgery, I wanted to have a concierge boutique practice where patients were able to receive a level of detail, luxury, and give that sense of self-confidence back to our patients.
From the moment I walked into the door, I really felt like I was a part of the family. Everyone really greeted me with warmth, and we took time to just review my schedule, make sure that I was on target, a lot of good follow-up calls. Really made me feel important, and that this procedure was just as precious to them as well.
The term mommy makeover is kind of an umbrella term for a lot of different surgeries that we perform, typically related to some of the changes that happen in the body after giving birth.
I wanted to just feel better about myself, and my kids are grown, and I think it's time for me to celebrate me.
We customize a plan for every patient that will get them the results that they're looking for, and for some patients it's a lot more procedures, and some patients don't have a lot and they just want one little thing kind of worked on, and we can do that for them also.
I've been living with a surgery that just didn't make me happy or feel secure, and after a few years I just couldn't take it anymore. A girlfriend of mine introduced me to Dr. Costa, and after researching him online, finding all his reviews, his work, and meeting with him, he just made me feel secure and my expectations would be met, and it was the office I decided to choose.
I do a lot of revision breast work, and I have so many patients who come to us looking to get that fixed because they're like, I am not happy with how I look.
When I first came in for my consultation, Dr. Costa had this state-of-the-art room where he took 3D images of the patient so you can see the outcome and what you would expect from the surgery results.
We're able to actually simulate that implant using 3D images to show them what they will look like afterwards, and for a lot of patients that's important because they want to see, get an accurate representation of what they're going to look like after the breast augmentations.
Dr. Costa helped me feel confident for this year. I'm excited to go out, to go clothes shopping, bikini shopping. This summer is going to be amazing, and I have Dr. Costa to thank for that.
I feel really good. I feel real sassy, real sexy, and I'm ready to just break through my 50s in a real top-notch way.
To learn more about me and platinum plastic surgery, I highly encourage you to go check out our website, which is drcosta.com. There you can find before and after photos of my procedures and learn more information about the procedures I perform.
Stick around, we have more to come on your health. We take a look at what measures hospitals are taking in order to protect patients during COVID-19, and a trip to Omaha to see how a special store is helping women gain self-esteem. Whether it's chemotherapy or an autoimmune disease, there are many reasons why women lose their hair. And at Bravada's in Omaha, they're helping these women gain a new sense of confidence.
Here at Bravada's, we're a full-service wig store. We take care of people's hair pieces and wigs. We sell all types of wigs, from synthetic to blends to human hair. We try to network with our customers too. We kind of get people together that have common ground or common needs. Probably 65% of our customers are women going through chemotherapy, but there are a lot of other hair loss issues as well.
2012, I was diagnosed with leukemia. All that you go through. You lose hair, you have skin rashes, and you don't feel very well. I do international music from all over the world. I do the American Songbook. I do a lot of shows here in Omaha. And I'm just so grateful that Bravada's has been here. And I've been coming here to get my extensions and all my hair needs.
The short styles are fun too.
Okay. Yeah. When a person comes in, we have them fill out a little information, and then we schedule an hour consultation. So we just sit down and talk about what their needs are, look at color, style, You know, we've had customers say it's kind of a safe house for women. You know, when we talk about the community of women just sharing common ground of chemotherapy or alopecia or something like that.
I have an autoimmune condition called alopecia, which basically means that your body attacks your hair follicles and you start to lose your hair. I first came here looking for some ways to just kind of fill in the gaps, just to fill in the bald patches. And so they would help me find accessories, clip-in pieces that would just kind of fill in the spots where I was losing hair. The alopecia just became more progressive. I was losing enough hair that the hair pieces and the clip-in pieces just weren't doing the trick anymore. My first experience walking into Bravada's to actually try on a full wig was really an emotional experience. Wow, this is kind of fun.
I know.
I loved the fact that Bravada's had private rooms, that I didn't feel like I was out in the open, exposed, where people could see my, issues.
There's these little clips that lock the hair onto the head, and once that's positioned correctly and locked on, you can go out in the wind. We always say we don't guarantee them in a tornado, but but under most conditions, they're gonna stick with you.
A lot of fears of what's it gonna be like, what's it gonna feel like. Mostly, are people gonna be able to tell? And the truth of the matter is, nobody can tell. Even friends that are hairstylists have looked at me and said, no way. I feel like it's my responsibility to my teenage daughters to be a role model for them and to have them see that even though mom has gone through this difficult experience of losing her hair, I'm not going to stop living my life.
It's just really nice to be able to make a difference here and there, just to help someone get through a bad part of their life or restore their self-esteem, their self-image.
I'm just so grateful that there are places like this that make us feel good again. They're just, they're angels, so thank you.
Joining me is Dr. Stephanie Jackson, Chief Clinical Value Officer at Honor Health. Thanks so much for being with us, Doctor.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here.
Doctor, a lot has changed over the past few months. What should people expect when they come to Honor Health for care?
We have been always concerned, even before COVID, about patient safety. We were really fortunate in that we were already working on infection control as part of a national campaign for patient safety before the COVID crisis hit. So we were already prepared with a fleet of UV germ zapping robots in an attempt to try and keep viruses, bacteria, all sorts of things at a minimum. And then also we got disinfecting pods. And these pods use the robots so that we can wheel things in like IV poles or wheelchairs into that disinfection station and just make sure that everything's wiped clean. And so we were able to use that during this crisis to make sure that we were, had that extra measure of safety above and beyond what was required. And we've put in fever scanners at our employee entrances to make sure that none of our employees are coming to work sick. We have deployed a rapid testing strategy. We're one of the only places in the valley that you can get your test results within 2 hours of arriving at the hospital. And that's allowed us to separate the COVID patients from the non-COVID patients, which is really important so that there's no chance at all of them spreading COVID to a non-COVID patient.
Now, Doctor, you're doing all the right things to help people feel safe, but we're hearing recent reports from health systems across the U.S. that people aren't seeking out care. What is your advice to those who need care right now?
You shouldn't let your fear of COVID keep you from coming to the hospital. If you have a heart attack or a stroke, you need to come in. There's all those things that, we learned over the years to call 911 for. You should still do that, and you should still come into the hospital. The other thing I'm starting to worry about is some of the screening tests like colonoscopies and mammograms. Those are still important. And then vaccination rates. If your kids are due for vaccines, you should still get them in to get those vaccines.
So along those same lines, now that restrictions are being lifted, what can people do to protect themselves?
I think, you still really need to use a lot of common sense. The governors, laid out some guidelines for us, but then let common sense prevail. And, the studies show that people that wash their hands 10 times a day are less likely to get this than people who wash their hands 5 times a day. So don't forget that part. We get so much emphasis on the masking, but the hand washing is really important too.
Thanks so much, Dr. Jackson, for joining us and for all you're doing. If you'd like more information on Honor Health, head over to their website. Hospitals around the country are implementing new safety measures. Contact your local hospital for more information. Here's what's coming up next on the show. A center that has a unique approach to help people struggling with addiction. And I'll show you an alternative to French fries. While in college, Scott felt lost and turned to addictive substances to help him cope. But with the supportive Decision Point Center, he found his passion and his sobriety.
I was in college struggling with anxiety and depression because I didn't really know what I wanted to do when I grew up. Started drinking more and then found drugs, and pretty much that just made the anxiety and depression, get worse, even though at the time I thought it was better, but it was what I was used to. And I would just go back and forth like, oh, I want to stop doing drugs. Oh, I don't want to stop doing drugs. I woke up one morning and my mom was like, hey, someone's downstairs, they want to talk to you. And I go downstairs and there wasn't like an actual interventionist, but it was a bunch of my friends, some of my close friends, their parents. They pretty much reassured me that I did need help, and I was at a place where I was just so miserable about where I was. I was like, I do need a change. They were like, we want to send you this place in Arizona. You get to go hiking, do a bunch of cool outdoor stuff. And I'm just like, sounds great. When do I leave? I didn't necessarily think I would stay sober, actually. I was sort of like, all right, I'll go to this rehab for 30 days, just kind of throw a curveball in my life, mix it up. And then slowly I was able to come to terms with, hey, being sober is actually a really good thing. I was actually very pleased because it wasn't like very institutional, hospital-y. It was almost like I was going to Colorado and staying at like a condo. Like, it was actually really nice. I even joked with one of my friends that him and I both got sent to a mandatory summer camp. Just like, kids when they go to summer camp, they make friends. We kind of do the same thing at Decision Point. We're here, we might as well make the best of it. I felt I actually had a real big impression on a lot of the clients there because I showed them how much fun they could have, because they kind of came in like I did. They're like, oh, I'm in rehab. But I was able to show them the fun side. There's a lot more to life than just drugs and alcohol, especially with the outdoor program Decision Point has. It showed me how much fun it is just to be outside, taking in nature. I've always been a big wildlife nature person even before Decision Point. And then once a month you would go on a couple-day camping trip, whether that be just car camping where your car's right there, or like full-on backpacking out through the wilderness. Even now that I'm out, I thought rehab was great for me. Honestly, even if I didn't have a drug problem, I thought rehab would have been great because it taught me how to deal with stresses that you're gonna come across in your life. Now, almost 9 years after my sobriety date, I'm working as a large predator handler at a wildlife park. That's one thing that's really helping me stay sober, along with the tools Decision Point taught me, just because those animals mean the world to me, and it really is a dream job. Thanks to Decision Point, I have almost 9 years of sobriety.
Don't go away, we have more coming up on Your Health. I'm heading to the kitchen to show you a tasty way to make carrot fries. Hope you're all well and healthy. I'm bringing you here another wholesome, easy, and delicious recipe from my kitchen to yours. This is called carrot fries, and on the side, there's a Greek yogurt chive dip. Yum, yum. As we all know, right now, produce has always and continues to be in abundance in the store, so we definitely want to integrate our veggies wherever we can. Just to get, those nutrients in, added throughout our meals, throughout the day and the week. So, without further ado, let's get into this recipe. All right, so I already have my 2 carrots that are cut into fries. So I have that here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our carrots and we're gonna put them in the bowl. One thing that I love is recipes that you just have to dump things into a bowl. Makes it super cinch, super quick and easy. So what we have here, ingredients-wise, is 2 tablespoons of olive oil. So you pour that right into your bowl. Tablespoon, AKA heap of love. We also have a tablespoon of fresh parsley that's chopped. I'm gonna add that right in. Now we have some paprika here, 1 teaspoon of that. Teaspoon, AKA a spoonful of laughter. All right, and then we have our teaspoon of salt and pepper. So once you have that all in your bowl, you're gonna go ahead and just toss that all together. Get all the ingredients nice and coated on your carrot fries. Now, while this was happening, I already had preheated my oven to 425. So then once your carrot fries are kind of nice and coated there, evenly distributed, what we're going to do is we're going to place the carrots on a baking sheet lined with parchment paper in a single layer. Ta-da! And these are ready to go in the oven. What we're gonna do now is get into this delicious Greek yogurt chive dip. Yum. That just sounds wonderful. So let's get into that. So all you're gonna need here is 1 cup plain Greek yogurt, 1 tablespoon lemon juice. I squeeze a fresh lemon. I kind of like using fresh lemon for that option. And then 2 tablespoons chives. And followed by a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper, about 1/4 teaspoon each. And voila, you have your Greek yogurt chive dip, and this is going to be, of course, your dipping sauce for your carrot fries. Absolutely a blend of delicious flavors. And let's go ahead and check on our fries. And ta-da! A simple, quick, and easy, nutritious and delicious carrot fries recipe. Absolutely so good. From my family to yours, stay well, stay healthy, and I'll see you next time. I really do love those carrot fries, and so do my kiddos. Thanks so much for joining us on Your Health. I'm Erica Cardenas. Stay well, stay healthy, and we'll see you next time.